Welcome back to Technique Critiques, everybody. I'm Brian from Big Ben Strength. This is TJ we're taking a look at today. This is a 150 kilo hang clean. This is from the same session with his 160 kilo hang clean that I also just recently critiqued. So let's go and take a look at this. A little glitch there. Let's start that over. Really smooth. And he's got the jerk in here too. Let's take a look at that. It was a solid lift right there. Let's start with our hang clean. Why don't we take a look at this? So at the top of your hang clean, we're going to take a big deep breath, pop the chest out, get the back tight. Initiate down. We want to see hips go back. Down to mid shin, almost touching the ground, but not quite. We see knees come back out of the way, looking good there. Feet stay flat. There's a little bit too much hip forward movement that I'm not a huge fan of here. I'd like to see him drive up and push through the ground and think more hump, less, or more jump, less hump. But it's not a bad clean. He's just leaning back a lot here. All right. And that can send your center of mass back and cause a jump backwards, which I'm not a huge fan of. I want to be jumping straight down. That would be the biggest thing I'd like to see. Feet stay flat and push up through the heels as opposed to leaning back and shoving your hips forward. He does a really good job of meeting the bar and riding that bounce, right? Especially with weight like this, if you can meet that bar high, right, it'll actually help kind of assist you out of the squat because the weight will actually whip the bar upwards. So it makes it easier to stand up from the squat if you time it right. Let's take a look at the jerk too. It's a fantastic dip. He's not too low. So this is a small thing here. As he comes out of the dip, we want to see him push through the ground and drive straight up. What you can kind of see is he starts the movement of the turnaround with his hips coming under, right? Just that small amount of hip moving forward and backward is limiting his ability to drive up. That means that he might be pushing his hips forward to try and initiate the jerk as opposed to pushing straight up. But it's a sneaky thing. It's small. It's a moderately lightweight for him. So it's not something that's going to affect him too much. But I bet it does affect him when it starts to get up to some heavier weights. Drive, punches himself under. Small thing here, I do want to see the back foot hit the ground first, not the front foot. Right? When that front foot hits first, a lot of the time afterwards, your back leg will stay too straight, which you can kind of see. And that back leg is just a little too straight, and that can cause a little bit of hyperextension in his back. Back foot first, you want to anchor that back foot, drive that back knee down. A split second later, that front foot will hit the ground, and you'll feel a lot more stable. But it's very strong, gets away with it on this lift a little bit. I'm really nitpicking here, but we gotta at these levels. He pushes back, recovers, meets in the middle, super stable in the upper body. This is a monster lift. This is just some of the best technique, and he's in the middle of volume, just like I'm actively trying to kill him with volume. So being able to make lifts like this look this easy, solid work. Let's refresh a couple things here. On the clean, we're trying not to lean back excessively. That's the biggest thing, right? We want to continue to push through the ground, through the middle of the foot, and not let the hips shift the weight forward onto the toe as you're trying to get to that extension. On the jerk, the main thing here is anchor that back foot first and drive the knee down so that you can be a little bit more balanced and less hyperextended. Because if that back leg starts to get too much practice with being straight, it's going to start pushing a lot of your jerks forward, right? That's not